There was an interesting story I saw from Zero Hedge. Zero Hedge writes, the Portland riots just stopped. Why? Now, I know some people like Zero Hedge. They're not considered to be a credible outlet by NewsGuard and just like really bad across the board. I don't ever really read Zero Hedge or know much about them, but I can tell you that this article is insinuating that around the same time the riots were stopping in Portland, many of these people were, or not these people, many similar people were seen near these areas where brush fires were starting.
Oh.
And it kind of plays into like, are they perhaps starting brush fires? There is a photo of people wearing firefighter gear holding up an Antifa flag.
Oh.
So it's all weird. But I think there's a much, much easier way to explain why this all stopped. And I think it's because Donald Trump stopped it.
That's a big part of it.
And that's very simple. So here's what Tyler Durden writes. I guess like every article is by Tyler Durden.
How could this not be NewsGuard when Tyler Durden's writing all the articles?
Of course. So this is what they write. Since May 29th, Portland has been the backdrop of more than 100 nights of Antifa, anarchist, and Black Lives Matter, Inc. terroristic riots. They set fires, looted, and intimidated people by threatening to burn them alive in their homes. But after the millions of dollars of destruction, criminality, and thuggery is stopped last week, poof, why? I certainly don't want to tempt these thugs, but it can't go without saying that Portland's 100 plus days of riots appeared to end after Wednesday, September 9th. That was the last time the Portland Police Bureau warned about protesters with this tweet, saying Southwest Jefferson to Southwest Salmon from Southwest First to Southwest Broadway is closed to pedestrians but open for vehicular traffic. All people must leave the area to the west now. Chapman and Lonsdale squares are now closed. That's just local jargon, sure, but that was what they said. The usual live streamers decamped to other riots and fires. By September 10th, the overworked cops from Portland Police Bureau were offered out to assist other agencies. Suddenly, instead of being required to work the riot lines, they were free. Why? On September 7th, to the morning of the 8th, the Pacific Northwest experienced a major wind event. Winds gusted through Oregon and Washington at more than 60 miles per hour. Fires that had been allowed to crackle along, such as the Beachy fire, flared up. Power lines were down, the fires kicked up, and then came the reports. Clackamas County Sheriff officials reported that people had seen Antifa protester types reportedly stashing gas cans, looting, and looking ridiculously out of place. They were taking pictures and giving locals grief for trying to keep them out of closed neighborhoods. Locals wondered if there was a connection between the fires and the sightings of these folks. BLM was seen there. The original BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, not the group that borrowed the acronym. Now, I want to point out, there was one guy who was described by Cairo 7 local news as being a frequent visitor of defund the police protests. This guy got arrested. The police said he was trying to set a fire. That's the one guy we have. There's been a bunch of other crazy looking people, and I feel like I have an answer to why people thought that was the case. Why were they seeing these Antifa types that were out of place? Well, it's because these are many of the crazies who Antifa preys upon. The organizers seek out these unwell people, give them a grievance, and then rally them to go cause destruction because idle hands are the devil's playground. Mm-hmm. These people have nothing to do. So when these people have nothing to do and the organizers are gone, what do? They run amok. I don't think these people starting fires are far leftists for the most part. I don't think they're intentionally like it's an Antifa conspiracy. I think the insinuations through this are leading in the wrong direction. They don't actually say that Antifa was causing this. However, they go on to Catherine Herridge mentions this DHS leaked email that says this was written on day 60 of the Portland riots, that Antifa is organized, not opportunistic. They know what they're doing. So then this is how Zero Hedge ends. They're organized, share the same tactics, and talk to each other. Why are they so quiet right now? Oregonians might well wonder that these threat actors are doing their arsons in the tinder, dry woodlands of the state instead of nearby downtown Portland. The riots have stopped. Did they go to San Francisco or Lancaster, Pennsylvania to raise hell? Did they stop because of the smoky skies and air quality numbers that are off the charts? It seems unlikely that a group that spawned a murderer, multiple arsonists, and police assaulters would be dissuaded by smoky quality air. Is it because the media are busy covering the wildfires and there's nothing in rioting for the terrorists? Or is it because of something else? The riots are over for now. Why? I actually have a very, very simple answer. First, many of the fires, there's a ton of fires. Many of them was arson. not the bigger ones, but people have been arrested for arson. They're not Black Lives Matter. But let's go back in time. GDC statement on recent visits to defendants by the FBI, September 4th, 2020. We have confirmed reports of the Federal Bureau of Investigation visiting people's homes in the last week or so. The result of some of these visits is that people with state charges, whether they have been no complaint or not, are being arrested by the FBI for federal charges of a similar nature. Below are some of the steps to take, to dealing with an FBI visit. Now, I got to admit, it's really good advice they give. Like, don't talk to the police, ask for a lawyer, don't lie. It's all very basic stuff. They say if you were arrested on state charges, interfering with a peace officer, unlawful direct laser, anything like this, you may want to take some preventative measures in case you are visited and or arrested by federal law enforcement. Some steps to take are below. I don't care about that part. And let's go back in time a little bit further. September 1st, deputized troopers may snarl Multco's protest prosecution plans. Move seemingly overrides Multnomah County's district attorney's limited prosecution approach. Mic drop. There it is. Trump solved the problem.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why the riots have stopped.
And it could be a combination. So Trump goes in, deputizes the cops. They send it off to the feds. The feds start busting the figureheads or the real dangerous people. And then the rest of them are like, let's get out of town because the feds are coming. So they scramble to the woods and start lighting fires.
No. I don't think that. I think when the key organizers got snatched up by the feds because the was it Portland? What do they call themselves? The General Defense Committee. They said the feds are coming door to door and you're getting federal charges similar to your state charges. They grabbed the organizers. Organizers are gone. Now, the crazy people who were preyed upon by Antifa to be used as useful idiots to throw explosives, like that one dude. You remember that guy with the shield and he was guarding naked Athena or whatever her name was? There was that nude woman and this young guy was like shielding her. Another video came out where someone hands him an explosive and then he throws it at the building. It goes off. He got charged for it. They don't know who gave it to him. He said some guy gave it to him, told him it was like a spinner. It'll go wing and fly in the air. Nope, it was a bomb. That guy got in trouble. The dude who gave him the bomb, I can only imagine, must have gotten arrested. Or once the feds started going in and arresting these people at their homes, the other organizers said the jig is up and they bolted and they're gone. That leaves all of these deranged and unwell people scattered. Many of the actual far leftists probably started preparing for the siege on the White House on September 17th. Many of them probably got scared, stay home, lock their door, or they're hiding at their friend's house. Many of them are in jail right now being held by feds and probably will never be released. And then all of the crazy people who were wandering around bored and screaming because they're literally unwell wandered off and started starting fires.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's my theory. I think that would require looking at some of these crazies who have started fires and seeing if they were at any of these protests.
Exactly. It's an assumption. It's a safe assumption with a lot of moving parts, but it may not be the Pete crazies. The fires might be unrelated, but I think that's definitely the first part of what you said is extremely accurate.
There are arsonists starting fires, 100%. And one of them was a Black Lives Matter leftist. Now, we should be able to easily prove whether or not many of these other people were at some of these protests. But I guess if they weren't arrested, we wouldn't know. But what happens when you have people who are throwing firebombs at Seattle and Portland police departments, and now the organizers are gone? No one's giving them orders and telling them what to do.
Right.
They go start fires somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, these people were starting fires all over the place at the Portland police.
I mean, this is the best theory I can come up with.
So the riot stopped, and it's very simple. Donald Trump stopped them.
It was a team effort, but yeah, he was leading the team.
Well, I'll put it this way. The buck stops with him. He said, we're going to deal with this. He's got his appointees through the DHS and other organizations, and they took action, and they were smart, and they did it right. We'll see what comes up. We'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Dude.
Tomorrow night's the White House siege.
Oh, wow.
It's the non-violent siege of the White House for 50
have they
days.
deputized any other cities' cops?
Not that I know of.
That is such a cool idea.
I mean, it's kind of worrying. So the feds are supposed to operate within federal jurisdiction. They're supposed to, like the FBI deals with specific crimes pertaining to, interstate commerce kind of things, or like a murderer crossing state lines. Many of these people aren't from Portland, so the FBI would have jurisdiction. But now, because localities are not actually dealing with these criminals, the feds are asserting some kind of warped jurisdiction to put an end to it. I don't like it. I don't like it because, well, I do like that they're ending the riots. I do think that is it. I think Trump was like, how can we do this without going in? And they said, we can deputize the state police. The DHS was like, get it done. And I'm sure Trump knew. I'd be willing to bet he did. It's a brilliant idea. I'm not saying it was his idea, but I'm sure they were like, look, we can do this. There may be a legal challenge. But who wants to be the person right now to sue the feds on behalf of Antifa? The Democrats have defended Antifa to an absurd degree, but right now they know it's a vulnerability. So they can't be seen as being sympathetic and protecting them right now.
The cat wants Bucko. I got Bucko a bowl of water because he keeps drinking my water, but now he wants my water.
He doesn't want the bowl. It's your bowl.
He's not satisfied.
Now he's taking yours, huh?
Oh, you can have it.
So anyway,
Come here.
there you go, man. You cut. What did you call it the other day? Cutting the head off the snake?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Slice it off. It doesn't always work because sometimes if it's the system that's the problem, cutting the head off, it'll just grow a new head.
Yeah, it looks like it was top down.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. And we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.